Welcome back to Better Life, Better Business with local business coach and time management expert Christoph Nauer of Balance 6. I'm your host, Rebecca Troxel, founder and CEO of Rebecca's Vault. We have an interesting guest today as we continue our series of interviewing business owners about not only what they do to help you with time and into your business, but how they are navigating the world of being an entrepreneur.
Thank you, Rebecca, and welcome everyone. I'm Christoph Nauer of Balance 6, and today you will be listening in on a conversation I'll be having with our guest today, AJ Kahn. Hello, AJ. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me today, Christoph. Thank you, Rebecca.
Wonderful to have you. As you know, I know you said you listened to some of my podcasts. The purpose of these podcasts are actually to provide excellent resources and helpful tools and tips to business owners. And that's exactly why I wanted to have you as a guest. Can you please tell our listeners a little bit about what it is you do and how you bring value to business owners and entrepreneurs?
Certainly. One word, recognition. But more importantly, a trusted recognition is what the United States Business Bureau brings to the public in a way that tells the community that valued members on our coattails are the trusted source in their industry to do business with.
And how do they become a trusted source?
We actually have a vetting process. It's not rigorous. It's nothing to be intimidated by, but we do have a process that we of questioning that we do with our prospects, along with some background checking. So we make certain that they have the initial licensing requirements in their city, county, state, federal levels, along with no unresolved federal disputes. And there's a few other vetting processes that I'm not going to get into on here, but we certainly like to make certain that they are giving the best service possible in an ethical way.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. No, because obviously your reputation is on the line here.
So. Absolutely. That's what it is. Not only is the business reputation on the line, but our reputation is on the line for that business as well, which is why we do actually take the vetting process really serious.
Good, wonderful. What's one thing, AJ, that you wish you had known when you began your business?
Don't do it alone. So many begin a business with the intention that they're going to make it big and all the money's going to come flowing in, and that's what I pretty much thought was going to happen because it was so unique of a business. But we quickly found out, or I actually quickly found out, that without defining the target audience, the organization stayed ambiguous. And that was what kind of created a slower start than what I initially had hoped for. When you're so unique, people aren't looking for you. So don't do it alone when you're starting a business. Reach out to other sources that can help you.
Definitely can relate to that one.
I couldn't agree more with you, AJ, because that's some of the things I do. So
exactly.
So what do you think is your biggest challenge right now, today, on this beginning of March of 2021?
Well, as we all know, the world had a huge curveball, and that put a lot of stops and dampers on many businesses. And many business owners like the concept of what we stand for, but there's a huge pool of prospects that really enjoy the belly-to-belly, the in-person meetings, and they're really looking for them to resume versus the virtual group gatherings that we host currently. And we're going to go back to the in-person meetings once the restrictions are lifted. But the biggest challenge is that exactly, we can't meet face-to-face, and there is an actual synergy or energy, whatever you want to call it, that is lost by being on here. We've adapted in a great way to be on Zoom or any other social media platform where we can still see each other face to face, but there's a serious transaction that is typically not completed at the end of a conversation, and that's a handshake. And that right there was lost to many, and that's a big challenge for us. So I would have to say our biggest challenge right now is just getting back to the in-person meetings. We're really eager to do so, but we respect the health restrictions.
Absolutely. Yes, no, and you're right. We are humans are social beings, the handshake, the touch, and if you know somebody, it'll be better a hug, Um, when were you last able to hug somebody who was not in your COVID bubble? I mean,
Yeah.
it's challenging. I hear you. And for extroverts, it's a lot harder than for introverts. I'm an introvert, so for me, it's not as hard. But those who extroverted people, I know it's really hard for them.
Well, Christoph, you can mail a hug to me anytime you want.
All right, we'll do that, AJ. um, let's shift gears a little bit. What are some of the best resources that have helped you along the way, AJ?
Resources, wow. Well, my networking groups that I attend frequently, along with all of our members' support. I follow the mentoring insights of a few business strategic leaders. Of course, social media and virtual platforms have played a key role in our growth. So those are the resources we use what we have at our fingertips right now. And the knowledge that I was given through the networking groups, such a great variety of creativity out there, and listening, going in open-minded and taking people's ideas and applying them has really why I say that the networking aspect is truly my best resource.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where relationship building happens. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur and a business owner, you have lots and lots to do. So what role does delegating play in your business?
Well, my organization is comprised of many small business owners that need to tend to their business on a daily basis. So I don't typically ask them to do the work for me. However, I do have some delegation platforms in order. We have marketing directors. I have a few entre leaders. Those are like ambassadors to a chamber of commerce that are in various states, and they handle various territories. So they all help carry out our mission and they help connect the public to the trusted businesses in their territory.
Nice. Well, so AJ, you had said that you have seen a few of our vodcasts before, and our audience, I'm sure you listen to a few as well, but if you have not heard the ones on prioritizing, I highly recommend you listen to those. The different ones that Christoph and I discussed were around the 80-20 rule, the ABCDE method, proactive procrastination, all sorts of things. And AJ, how is it in your business that you prioritize things?
Well, I definitely would set up accountability deadlines with members and clients. That really kind of keeps the drive going. However, I have one simple rule. It's called the 50-50 rule, which means that I follow a pretty simple routine. I complete the challenges I have set forth for that day, the first half of the day, so that I can account for any variable change the second half of the day. If everything is done the first half of the day, then the other 50% of that day I get to spend with family or just enjoy, poolside.
Nice, very nice.
Well, good. I haven't heard of that rule yet, but I'm always open to learning new things.
I'm invoking the 50-50 rule.
Right.
Nice.
Well, and I think what really resonated with me is when you talked about, when I get this done, then I can spend some quality time with the family, which are
very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Because originally, that's one of the reasons we go into business for ourselves, so that we can be our own boss and decide when we work and when we don't work.
Absolutely.
And which
Everybody else can be jealous that we get to spend time with our family in the middle of the afternoon because we worked our butts off in the morning and got it done, thanks to the 50-50 rule.
There you go. And that kind of leads us to the next question, because you have so many responsibilities that you have to take care of as a business owner. And it's hard to make that nothing gets left out. So how do you handle all those tasks and responsibilities and make sure everything still gets done so that you do have time to have with the family?
I love that question. Thank you for asking that. And my answer is this. It's an unusual system, but I call it my to don't list. So
Okay.
this is as weird as it may sound, this is a list of all the things that you just say you're going to do, and you write on a list or anywhere in your systems, your CRMs, that you're going to stare at or you're going to continue pushing off to the side because other stuff has to get done. So what I do is I create this list on Sunday, and that way I can stare at it on Sunday and I don't have to look at it the rest of the week. And as I mentioned, applying the 50-50 rule, if I have more time to do something like that, that was on the to don't list, then I can pick and choose. But at least it's not going to affect my productivity.
That sounds good.
Yeah, awesome. I'm learning some new stuff here today with AJ. That's great. Thanks, AJ, for sharing.
My pleasure.
You may or may not know that only about 3% of people have written goals for their business and life. How do you handle goal setting, and do you fall into the 3%?
Goal setting. Well, so I don't make goals, I create challenges. A goal to me is good only until you reach it, and then that's it. There's nothing else beyond. But a challenge, it's ongoing, and through that, it can be completed, but it always has a new level for you to reach. So I always let people know, the beginning of the year with their New Year's resolutions and the goals that we set, if it is a true goal, make certain that you can evolve beyond that so that there really isn't an actual finish line for success. You can continue to evolve.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Yes, of course, because once you reach the goal, that doesn't mean now that you sit back and do nothing. You
Right.
know, I totally agree with you. Then if you reach the goal, that's fantastic. Then let's see, where's your next one? And then where's your next one? Absolutely. So I like that. Um, One of the six in my business name, Balance Six, is relationship. Do you have some tips and tricks for business owners in this regard, AJ?
Relationships, yes, definitely. So, three things, real quick. Um, I have always followed a saying: don't sell to your clients, build a relationship that strengthens and will be ongoing. Also, people don't do business with you because of the name of your company you represent. They do business with your company because it's you that they invest in. So make sure that you believe in the business that you are promoting, because when you go to build a relationship with a prospect who will then turn into a client, they understand that, and you understand as well, they're there for you. And the third thing is dare to be different. When someone asks you, and this is a big one that a lot of people struggle with, but when you're at a networking function and someone says, "So, what do you do?" The typical question is to tell them exactly what you do. But I tell our members through our mastermind courses to answer the question as if that person just said, "What is it that you can do for me?" So now what you're doing is you're plugging them into the equation and you are starting to build that relationship without even having to sell. So that's why relationships are extremely important to continue building.
Yes.
Could not agree with you more. So AJ, I know in my business, getting things going and still running a business, that there are lots of people who have been very helpful and influential along the way. Who are some of the people that have been the most influential to you in getting your business going and just in general?
Walt Disney because his ideas always led up to something greater and benefit others. He may not have been the best business owner to work for, but he learned from his mistakes and he kept moving forward, thus creating the legend that we see and go to, the happiest place on earth.
Excellent.
I think that's a great point there. In every failure, see opportunity and not a setback, and learn from it. As you were talking about relationships too, AJ, something came to mind. Yes, let's say, for instance, for me, if people say, what do you do? I can say I'm a business coach. That doesn't say anything.
No.
What we want to do is we want the other person to say, huh? How do you do that? And so, for instance, I could say, I'm a business plumber. So,
What?
yeah, exactly. That's what probably you would say. What? Well, I help business owners find leaks where they leak time and money. All of a sudden, it's a whole different ballgame. So, absolutely. So, AJ, you have given us so much good stuff. I would imagine our audience would like to figure out how to connect with you online. How can they find you?
Well, one, I'm a huge Facebooker. You can always find me online, send me a message, connect with me. We also have a Facebook fan page, United States Business Bureau. That's what you would type in. Or definitely emailing me through our website, www.unitedstatesbb.us. That's another way to get my attention. I'm on LinkedIn. So many other social media platforms are out there, but the Facebooking has worked for me because I like to meet the small business owner without the corporate restrictions that I can help build their business and watch them thrive.
Excellent. Well, thank you, AJ, for having a conversation with us today and sharing your insight. And thank you to our viewers for joining us in on this conversation. If you or someone you know would like some guidance finding balance like AJ has, make sure you take advantage of the offer Christoph provides his audience, a complimentary business breakthrough session. During this session, you will learn how he can help you double your profits, and time off. All you have to do is go to balance6.biz to sign up for a time that works for you. Until next time, make sure you focus on your long-term aspirations and having a better life and better business. We'll see you next time.
This week's episode of Better Life, Better Business is brought to you by CA&C Video Productions. Since 1985, CA&C Video has been providing live streaming, event production, and analog to digital transfer services. They captured those life-changing moments, preserving your history for current and future generations. Because your history matters. Visit their website at cacvideo.com. Thank you so much for your sponsorship.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to another episode of Better Life, Better Business with business and time management coach Christoph Nauer with Balance 6, the leading business and time management company in Northern California. Visit them at balance6.biz.